Okay, let's see. We are live. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm Michael from Able Lingo, and we have another Let's Describe lesson today. Hopefully you can hear the music in the background. Let's talk about what are we going to do in this lesson. Like I said, it's a Let's Describe lesson. Everything we do is going to be based off of this picture. Ooh, it's a nice picture, right? All right, let me put my welcome in the comments. Hello, everybody. Today, we're going to do a new Let's Describe lesson using an interesting picture. Lots of vocabulary and pronunciation. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to do the summary, right? Which is a quick explanation of what we see in the picture. Hello, Summit teacher says in the comments, hello, sir. Hello, hello. We're going to describe the setting of this picture. So the setting is the time, the place, the location, the environment, stuff like that. We're also going to describe the action. What's happening in this picture? What are the people doing? Of course, I'm going to tell a story about the picture. I like to use my imagination. I think it makes it a little bit more interesting, okay? And of course, we're going to do a quiz. Well, let's stop talking about it and let's do it. Here we go. Let's start with the summary. Okay, so once again, the summary is a brief explanation of what we see in the picture. All right, here we go. Father and son are resting. The baby boy is lying face down on his father's chest. The baby is facing us, and we can see the right side of his head. All right, so when we say he's facing us, his face is toward us, just like right now I'm facing you, okay? And we can see the right side of his head, so that would be this part right here. All right? The father's head is slightly inclined forward, and his lips are close to the baby's forehead. Okay, so when we say inclined forehead forward, we mean like this, a little bit moving forward, right? Or inclined position forward. So maybe he has a fluffy pillow behind his head and he's sitting up just a little bit. So he's close to the baby's forehead, which is this part right here. They're covered in a cozy blanket, right? So cozy just means comfortable. Fluffy, soft, warm, makes you feel very comfortable. Okay. All right, let's do some pronunciation. Repeat after me out loud. And I will read the sentence and then I will pause and give you time to repeat out loud and improve your pronunciation. Okay, here we go. Leah Huda's in the comments. Hello, hello, welcome. All right, we're just about to start pronunciation. Here we go. Father and son are resting. The baby boy is lying face down on his father's chest. See? The baby is facing us, and we can see the right side of his head. The father's head is slightly inclined forward, and his lips are close to the baby's forehead. They're covered in a cozy blanket. Okay, so we just did pronunciation for the summary, and I see apples in the comments from Leah Huda, right? Now, remind you, if you're doing pronunciation, put some apples in the comments. It lets me know that you are participating. Let's see, Kiantan Lee says hello, hello. And Mitarea de Ingles says, hi from Venezuela. I can finally join the live. Woohoo! Wonderful. Okay, so we just did the summary. Let's move forward. Okay, it's time Ooh, we have a question. All right, let's see. All right, 1 second. All right, so inclined. All right, I think I had explained it before, but I can explain it again. Inclined means moved forward. So if it's like this, inclined means forward. So the father's probably laying back on the bed, and maybe he was laying flat, but someone put a pillow underneath his head. So it makes his head slightly inclined forward, tipped just a little bit forward. Okay. All right. So Dua Tome gives apples. Summit Teacher apples. Kenton Lee apples. Wonderful. Okay, so let's do the setting. When we talk about the setting, we're talking about time and place, the environment, the location. Okay, here we go. We can't see much of the room, but we can imagine we can't see much of the room, but we can imagine it is in a very comfortable environment. All right. When we say comfortable, we can say cozy, just nice, warm, wonderful, soft, and it's just great for taking a nap or sleeping. Perhaps they're lying on a bed or on a big, cozy sofa. All right. Let's see, when we hear the word sofa, there is another word that we can use as well, which is pretty much the same thing. Let's see. So we'll go to images. So once you put in sofa, we have a sofa, right? So it's like a long chair, right? But we can also say a couch. When I grew up in the US, I usually said couch. Where's the pillow? Oh, it's on the couch. Where are you going to sit? On the couch. But it depends. Some people say sofa, and some people say couch. One difference is sometimes they'll say sofa chair, all right? And a sofa chair is just a chair that is like a mini couch, right? So it's just a chair. It's very comfortable, but you probably wouldn't say a couch chair. You just say a sofa chair. And just as a side note, I'm getting off track, but no problem. You can call, this is a love seat. A love seat is like a short sofa or a short couch, usually for two people. Maybe they're in love or maybe not, but it's just two people. That's a love seat. Okay. All right. Let's go back. Here we are. They might be at home or in a hotel, right? We can't really see the background. It's kind of fuzzy, and so we just kind of have to guess. Since the baby sleeps so often, it could be nighttime or daytime. Okay? And one thing I'll mention about the word often is that there's a T in there, but if you're doing the American accent, because I'm from the United States, so I speak with an American accent, we don't say the T. I think the British say the T, they say often. However, the Americans, we pretend the T doesn't exist. And we say often, often. So we say it like there are two F's, often. So once again, since the baby sleeps so often, it could be nighttime or daytime. Okay, so let's do some pronunciation. Here we go. Repeat out loud after me. Here we go. We can't see much of the room, but we can imagine it is in a very comfortable environment. Perhaps they're lying on a bed or on a big, cozy sofa. They might be at home or in a hotel. Since the baby sleeps so often, it could be nighttime or daytime. Okay. In the comments, Mi Tarea de Inglés says, "You Americans don't like the T letter." It's true. a word like bottle, B-O-T-T-L-E, we say it like it's B-O-D-D-L-E. We don't say bottle, we say bottle. Why? I don't know, but that's what we do. So, if you want to speak with an American accent, or if you hear someone who doesn't pronounce the T in the words, possible they're from the US, maybe Canada as well. Okay, let's move forward. Let's do more of the setting. Here we go. A warm gray blanket is covering the father and son. It's tucked in to create a cozy sleeping environment. All right, so let's take a look at tucked in. When I was a kid, before I go to sleep, my parents would come and tuck me in. Now, what does that mean, tuck you in? Well, when I was growing up, what it meant is that you would be laying, I was a kid, right? I was laying on my bed, and my parents would kind of put the blankets around me and maybe tuck the blankets a little bit under my feet, or maybe over the edge of the bed, so it was nice and cozy. So there were no open places, it was tucked. Tucked is like kind of pushed in a little bit to make it very, you feel secure, right? When the blanket is tucked in around you. So we can say the blanket here is tucked in to create a cozy sleeping environment. All right. Tume says wrapped. Right. They usually wrap up babies because babies like to feel secure, right? So they wrap them up in a blanket. Tucked is just kind of like taking the edges of the blanket and maybe pushing them in a little bit around the person's body, or maybe it could be under the mattress too, to make sure that there's no open space. The blanket is pulled up to the bottom of the son's ear and covers both of their bodies almost completely. All right, so we see the son's ear right here, and the blanket is pulled up to his ear, right? So his head is still open and uncovered, and so is the face of the father. Okay. We can only see heads and the boy's right arm. All right. So we see faces, heads, and the boy's right arm. I'm going to take a drink. Okay. And just to check, can you guys hear the music in the background? If you can, let me know in the comments if you can hear the music. If you can't, then I'll turn it up a little bit louder. All right. Summit teacher says to rap can be used for a man, woman, or boy, etc. Sure. Let's see. Here's a good example. Summit teacher says yes, we can. Okay, so you can hear the music. So rap. Let's see. For some reason, when I think of the word wrap, I think to wrap a mummy. Right? So you wrap a mummy. This is what the ancient Egyptians used to do with the bodies, right? So in this one, they wrapped them up in toilet paper, but like the Egyptians did it with something different, right? Okay, so a wrap could be for anyone, and it could be wrap in a blanket, wrap in a blanket. There you go. So you could say this girl is wrapped up in a blanket. You could say this little baby is wrapped up probably kind of tight, very snug in a blanket. And you could also say this dog is wrapped up in a blanket. So anyone could be wrapped, right? Let's see, mi tarea de inglés, is armchair used in the United States or is it a British word? Well, I've used it in the United States, and yeah, I think I've heard it's quite common to use in the United States. Let's take a look. Armchair. Sure. It's just any chair that has these kind of armrests, right, that come up and you can put your elbows on the armrests. Sure. Okay. Right, Summit teacher says wrapping tightly is done in Turkey often for newborns. Right. I think it makes them feel very secure. With our daughter, actually learned from the lady at the hospital and from my mom how to wrap the baby, right? So they feel very secure and it's easier for them to fall asleep and get the rest that they need. Okay. All right. So let's do pronunciation. Here we go. Repeat after me. A warm gray blanket is covering the father and son. It's tucked in to create a cozy sleeping environment. The blanket is pulled up to the bottom of the son's ear and covers both of their bodies almost completely. We can only see heads and the boy's right arm. Okay, so that was pronunciation. I see apples in the comments. That means people are participating. Wonderful. And just going to make one note here. Covers both of their bodies almost completely. And we have to put the word almost because we can't say completely. If their bodies were completely covered, then the blanket would be, up over their head and you wouldn't be able to see their bodies at all. Okay. So we just finished the setting. Let's move forward. Okay, so let's talk about the action. All right, this is more about the people. What are they doing and how are they doing it? All right, here we go. In this picture, we can see a young baby boy sleeping on his father's chest. The boy is lying face down, and his head is turned so we can see the right side of his face. Okay, so they positioned the child in such a way that his face is down, right? But his face is to the side. If his face was straight down, he would probably have trouble breathing and, he might be smothered or covered. But his face is to the side so he can still breathe and he can still, be very comfortable. His right arm and hand are positioned next to his face. All right, so here's his arm and there's his hand. And we can't tell if his hand is open or if it's closed. I don't know. I'm going to guess that it's closed because babies seem to like to grab stuff when they're little. He's wearing clothing with a white sleeve. All right. So some little outfit for babies, maybe for sleeping, that's warm and nice. And his sleeve is white. Okay. All right, it's time for pronunciation. Here we go. Repeat after me. In this picture, we can see a young baby boy sleeping on his father's chest. The boy is lying face down, and his head is turned so we can see the right side of his face. His right arm and hand are positioned next to his face. He's wearing clothing with a white sleeve. Okay, so that was pronunciation. Let's see, Yo-E2 says, how do you know the baby is a boy? It's actually a very good question because at this age, if they don't have clothing that is pink or blue or something, it's difficult to tell sometimes. So, I had a 50-50 chance. So I just picked boy. Why not? Could it be a girl? I think it could be, right? Because the clothing is white and white is kind of a neutral color. It could be for a boy or for a girl. So I just chose boy, but I agree, it probably could be a girl. It's possible. All right. Yo-E2 says sleeve. What is that? Well, let's see. Sleeve is, let's see if I can show you, is this thing, right? So my shirt has short sleeves, right? So the sleeve is just the part of the shirt that comes down the arm. Let's see. Leah Huda says boy because of his clothes. Okay. Samit Teacher says, I am 100% sure because I have a newborn baby like this. Woo! Wow, I remember about 10 years ago, well, 9 years ago when my daughter was a baby. And there's just something wonderful about babies, right? They smell great, they're very soft, and they're just, yeah, babies are awesome. Babies are wonderful. Okay, all right, so let's move forward. Let's do some more action. What's happening in this picture? The baby's eyes are closed, and he has a bit of brown hair. All right, so we can't say he has a whole bunch of hair, but he does have hair, right? And it looks like the hair is actually all over his head, even though it's kind of thin, and you can still see the scalp, which is like the skin on top of the head, right? So he has quite a bit of hair, I would say. Let's see, Leah Huda says, most men love to have boys. Well, I remember before my daughter was born, and they asked me, and this is before we knew that she was going to be a girl, some of my friends asked me, do you want a boy or do you want a girl? And I'm like, I just want the baby to be healthy, right? I didn't really care if it was a boy or a girl. The number one thing is that the baby be healthy, right? Because if the baby's not healthy, that's a whole extra challenge, right? Not impossible, but extra challenge. So for me personally, I didn't care if it was a girl or a boy. I just wanted the baby to be healthy, right? And we ended up with a girl. Okay, Summit Teacher says, I love girls more. Leah Huda says, he is partially bald. I like short hair. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see. Summit Teacher says, health is the most important. I agree. All right. The father is lying on his back, and the baby is in the middle of his chest. Okay? So, the father is, lying down on his back. If the father was lying on his stomach, it would be very difficult to hold the baby. So it's much easier for the father to lie on his back and then hold the baby. Okay, Sky Blue says hello from Turkey. Hello, I will say it's merhaba, right? Merhaba and teşekkür ederim for joining. All right. Right, moving forward. Their faces are close to each other. And I bet the baby can probably hear or feel the father's breathing, the father's breath, right? And for the baby at this age, it's probably something that's very soothing, very comforting to hear your parent breathing, right? Okay. The father's head is tilted forward, which means like this, tilted forward, probably because there's a pillow behind his bed, or behind his head, and his lips are close to the baby's forehead, right? So we have the father's lips right here, and we have the baby's forehead right here. Right? Sky Blue says, merhaba, wonderful. Leah Huda says, the babies have a special smell, which I like so much. Right? It's very unique, right? It's just nice. Right? Okay. So let's do pronunciation. Repeat after me. Apples in the comments. The baby's eyes are closed, and he has a bit of brown hair. The father is lying on his back, and the baby is in the middle of his chest. Their faces are close to each other. The father's head is tilted forward, and his lips are close to the baby's forehead. Okay, so that's pronunciation. I'm just going to make a note. There is another way to say this sentence which is the same meaning. We could say their faces are close together, right? So we could say together instead of each other. You see? Close to each other. So you can say their faces are close to each other, their faces are close to together, right? Okay, so let's move forward. More action. The father's eyes are closed as he sleeps. Okay? So hopefully he's getting some good, healthy sleep. And I would guess, I'm going to guess that he's not sleeping too deeply. Because I remember when I was holding my daughter like this and I would take a nap, I would sleep, but at the same time, I was constantly aware that my daughter was on. I bumped my microphone. I was constantly aware that my daughter was on my chest, right? Because if you move suddenly or you stand up suddenly, it's probably a very bad idea to forget that your kid is on your chest. So I don't remember ever sleeping really deeply when I had my daughter sleeping on my chest, but I could relax. Okay? The father has dark brown or black hair and he is unshaven. So when we talk about unshaven, we're talking about here, right? His mustache, his beard, his facial hair. So let's just take a look. Let's take a look at some pictures. What can we find if we put in unshaven? Okay. Oh, they even put a lady. Okay. Oh, armpit hair. That's not what I'm going for, but that would work as well. Okay, so I think a great example is this guy. You could say he's unshaven, and I don't think he's planning to grow a beard. It's possible. If he lets it keep growing, then his hair and his face will probably be as long as his sideburns. But right now, it's probably, 1 or 2 days. Maybe he was traveling. Maybe he didn't have time to shave. Or maybe he shaves like every other day, right? So, Leah Huda says stubble. Yes, right? So unshaven because we have stubble on our face, which is just short hair, right? Let's see, Samet teacher says unshaven guys are better. I don't know. I usually shave every day. I have an electric shaver when I get up in the morning, and then, right. I like to be shaved. It just makes me feel, I don't know, more prepared and ready to go. I guess it's part of my routine. Okay? All right, let's go back. Here we are. Okay. His mouth is closed and his chin is just touching his son's right hand. Okay, so this is kind of interesting when we use the word just here. All right, just touching. All right, so just touching means lightly touching, right? So if I have my hand, so you can see it in the camera or not, if I go like this and I'm pushing kind of hard, that's not just touching. Just touching is just lightly touching my hand, right? Just lightly. So his chin is just lightly touching his son's right hand, right? All right. Okay, all right. The father could be in his mid-30s. That's my guess, all right? Yeah? Okay. We're unable to see what kind of clothing the father is wearing because they're covered in a blanket, right? So we don't know if the father has a shirt on, if he has a sweatshirt on, if he has pajamas, or maybe he didn't have time to change clothes, or maybe he chose not to change clothes and he just took a nap with his son. We can use our imagination. Okay. Leah Huda says they are barely touching each other. Yes. You could say barely touching because barely means just, right? A little bit. We can't say they aren't touching, but we can say barely touching, just touching, right? Okay, let's see. Let's do pronunciation. Repeat after me out loud. The father's eyes are closed as he sleeps. The father has dark brown or black hair and he is unshaven. His mouth is closed and his chin is just touching his son's right hand. The father could be in his mid-30s. We are unable to see what kind of clothing the father is wearing. Okay, so in the comment before, Leah Huda had said, I assume it's winter and the father wants to get warm with his baby. Sure, it's very possible. And there's just something nice about a cozy blanket on a cold winter day. Just makes you feel comfortable, relaxed, and it's much easier to fall asleep. Okay, so this was the last part for the action. Okay, so let's talk about the story. I'm going to tell you a story about this picture. And I'll be honest, I don't know if it's true. Probably not, because I'm using my imagination. But I think it's good to have kind of a story for a picture. It makes it more interesting, at least for me. All right, let's see. In the comments, Yo2 says 21st century is complicated. I don't understand how we can communicate with each other at such a long distance. The baby looks like the father. Do you agree? I don't know yet. I suppose I need to see the mother first to see who the baby looks like. And I would probably need to see more of the baby's face because I can just see the side. And I'd say this baby is quite young. And when they're quite young, they still have a lot of changing to do on their face. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. All right, here we go with the story. This is Peter and Adam. Peter is the father and Adam is the baby boy. All right, let's see. Leah Huda says, I like the music. I like the music too. Mi Tarea de Inglés says, how do you call the kind of mark the father has on his forehead? Let's take a look. And let's see. I think I'm going to take the arrow and I'm going to point at it, but I think you mean this mark right there, right? So this mark right here, I think it's a scar, what we would call a scar. And let's go take a look at some pictures. A scar. Scar on forehead. How about that? Okay, so there you go. This lady, I think it's a lady, or it's a guy who used to be, or a woman. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman, but who cares? Right now, there's a scar. So sometime before, this person had an accident. Maybe they were hit with something or cut with something, and it healed, right? But there's still a mark. There's a scar. So I would say the mark right here on his forehead is probably a scar from maybe a past injury. Possible. All right. Okay, good question. Let's see. Summit teacher says, can we say scar? Yes, we can. Leah Huda says, maybe he is divorced and his wife abandoned him with the baby. Ooh, that would be a lot of drama. But yes, good imagination. All right. Dua Tume says the mark, we call it a scar. That's right. And Leah Huda says it's a deep mark in the skin. Right. Okay. Okay, let's see. This is the first time they've met. Peter is in the military and was deployed overseas before Adam was born. Okay, so this is a nice word to know. Deployed means placed, put, moved to a certain location. So when you have the military, and if there's a war, if they need to go to another country or another place, it's often to say they're deployed. The military or the soldiers, they were deployed to that country or deployed to that part of the world. So it just means they went to, right? And overseas just means international, right? Outside their home country, okay? So Adam was born after Peter was deployed overseas, okay? He has seen many pictures and videos, but this is the first time he has held his son. Okay. All right. So I imagine there's a lot of emotion, a lot of happiness, and the baby's too young to really understand the situation, but he can probably feel the wonderful positive energy from the father, and the father's probably just like, yes, I finally get to hold my baby boy, my beautiful child, right? All right. Time for pronunciation. Here we go. And quick, Leah Huda says deployed equals move to. And it's yes, as long as you understand that it's a temporary thing. It's usually not a final move. It's not like you're going to move for good for a final destination. It's temporary. You have some business to do over there, or there's a war or something, or there's a mission, and eventually you're going to come back. Right. Yoi2 says overseas equals just means international, to a different country. Right? Okay? And it could be literally, when you go to another country, you have to fly over the water. So they say overseas, just means international. So if someone says, I went overseas, I'm traveling overseas, just means you're going to another country outside your country, and probably not just one that's next door. Like for the US, if I said I'm going overseas, if I went to Europe, I went to Southeast Asia, somewhere kind of far away, right? All right. Right? Leah Huda says, I guess the father is mad because of raising his baby by himself. It's possible. We don't know. Maybe the mother is the one who took the picture. Maybe she's letting the father hold the baby because he's so happy to see his son. I don't know. All right. Pronunciation. Repeat after me. Here we go. This is Peter and Adam. Peter is the father and Adam is the baby boy. This is the first time they've met. Peter is in the military and was deployed overseas before Adam was born. He has seen many pictures and videos, but this is the first time he has held his son. Okay, lots of apples in the comments. Wonderful. Great opportunity to practice your pronunciation. Okay. All right, let's continue with the story. Adam is a healthy baby boy, and his father is exceedingly proud. Okay, so the longest word here is exceedingly. Why don't we just go straight to the dictionary? I have to. Mi Tarea de Inglés says your channel should be called Apple Lingo. Ooh, tempting. Thank you for the idea. Okay, let's see. So let's look up the word exceedingly in the dictionary, and we'll see if we can see some synonyms which give us a nice idea of what the meaning is. So goodbye, people with scars. Hello, exceedingly. Let's put it in. Okay, and let's hear the pronunciation.
Exceedingly.
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 And just a quick tip, when you use Google Dictionary, since Google is an American company, I guess that's why they chose people with American accents to do the pronunciation. So if you're curious about the American accent of a word, put it into Google Dictionary, click the little button.
Exceedingly.
It's an American guy.
Exceedingly.
Exceedingly, right. Okay, so it can mean, the first definition is extremely, like very, really. So synonyms: extremely, exceptionally, especially, tremendously, immensely, supremely, very, really, right. So if you notice, most of these end in ly, and adverbs often end in ly. And they describe a verb or an adjective, right? Okay, so archaic just means old, like an old definition, to a great extent, right? For the first one, the team played exceedingly well. Like they played really well. We don't know if they lost or if they won, but they played very well. Okay, so exceedingly, let's go back. All right, so his father is very proud, immensely proud, really proud, exceptionally proud, right? Peter just returned home from the airport and is extremely tired from his long travels. Okay. All right. Maybe he has jet lag. Jet lag. Does anyone know what jet lag is? Have you heard of jet lag before? Jet lag is when you travel really far, like usually to the other side of the world, and your body hasn't gotten used to the different sleep schedule, right? So usually when I go back to the US or America, I usually have jet lag for at least like 1 or 2 days. All right, let's see. Jet lag is a good thing to know. Let's go to pictures. All right, let's put in, I wonder if it's in the dictionary. Well, let's find out. Jet lag. It is. Nice.
Jet lag.
Let's hear it again.
Jet lag.
Jet lag. Okay, so jet lag is like the airplane, the jet, right? Lag just means to fall behind, trying to catch up. It's extreme tiredness and other physical effects felt by a person after a long flight across several time zones. Okay, so if you cross over several time zones, that's when we're talking about the GMT plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, or minus 5, minus 6, or the UTC plus 7, whatever. And you travel so far that you're usually awake when they're sleeping, or you're usually sleeping when they're awake. Your body has to adjust. So that's called jet lag. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's go back. All right, I'm just going to take a look at the comments. Yoey2 says the word met was easy to me to learn because we have a place here called Met. A place where men and women meet each other. Like a dating love place, maybe? Exceedingly, extremely, immensely, right. All right, Kian Lee says sick when you travel to a different time zone, right? And it affects different people differently, right? Some people, they might actually get sick and have like the flu. Other people, they just get tired and they're really drowsy, which means like you're not really focused. Your body's trying to regain its energy, right? Okay, so Peter just returned home from the airport and is extremely tired. Another way to say extremely tired is exhausted. So let me put it in here, exhausted. All right, so we could say with just about the same meaning, and is exhausted from his long travels. So that's pretty much the same thing as extremely tired, right? And if you're exhausted, you're probably mentally and physically, I need to sleep, right? Adam was already asleep. So when Peter got home, Adam maybe was sleeping in his crib, or maybe his mom was holding him and he was already sleeping, and he wanted to hold him. And actually this makes me think of something. When my daughter was very young, and my wife was still at home after she had given birth, but I had to go back to work, right? And I would come home. I was so excited to see my daughter, and my wife would be like, wait, I just got her to sleep. Can you please wait? But I was like, I wanted to hold my daughter so much, so I would usually pick her up out of the crib, and then sometimes she would come awake again. And I understand my wife was frustrated, but I just, it's a very unique feeling when you're a parent, right? And you have a baby. It's just like, I want to hold the baby. It's just a wonderful thing. Okay. All right. Peter gently picked him up, placed him on his chest, and laid down to rest with his beloved son. Okay. Okay. All right, quick question in the comments. Mitreya de Inglés says, from his long travels or travel without the S? Good question. Well, if you say it like this, from his long travels, I would think that he has been traveling to multiple locations, multiple places over and over again, so lots of action. If I just put one, his long travel, I would understand that he had one trip, right? So one, maybe a long trip, but very straight, direct. Maybe from like, I don't know, Beijing to New York. Long trip, but one trip, right? So if I put the S, I would think, wow, he's going from Beijing to Moscow to Paris to Ankara to all these different places, right? Trips, trips, trips. That's what I would think for travels. Okay. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Leah Huda says, raising a newborn baby is the most difficult time in my life. I can believe it. It takes a lot of energy. My mom had said before that raising a kid, raising a child, is the most difficult, but the most rewarding thing she's ever done. So it's very difficult, but it's one of the most incredible things as well, right? So it's like, being a parent is just a roller coaster of good, bad, frustrating, and everything in between. All right. Summit teacher says being a parent is worth to everything. I think you mean being a parent is really worth it. It's wonderful. It's worth so much. I would agree. Okay. Let's see. Yoi 2 jet lag. We call it fuso. I guess then I'll search. Pick is different of pick up. See? All right. So I said picked him up. All right. So pick up. Right, the object is him. So what did he pick up? He picked up his baby. All right. You could say pick up something, like please go pick up some milk at the store, something like that. All right. Ghazal H says hello, 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 welcome. Right. And the word beloved. All right. Beloved is just a nice word. Let's go to the dictionary so we can see some nice synonyms for beloved, and we can get some pronunciation over here. Here we go. Beloved. Hear it?
Beloved.
One more time.
Beloved.
Beloved. Okay. Dearly loved. So in the example, it said beloved son. So it's his dearly loved son. Darling, dear, dearest, precious, adored. That's a good one. Adored. Much loved. Right? So if something or someone is beloved, then you really like it. You really love it, right? Okay, let's go back. Okay. Ghazal H says this love is called unconditional love. Sure, that's possible, right? It's like a really strong kind of love, which is always a foundation for your relationship. No matter what happens, you know that I will love you, right? I might not like what you're doing, but I will love you and I will be there for you, right? Isn't that what being a parent is all about? I think so. Okay, let's do some pronunciation. All right, apples in the comments if you're participating. Here we go. Repeat after me. Adam is a healthy baby boy, and his father is exceedingly proud. Peter just returned home from the airport and is extremely tired from his long travels. Adam was already asleep. Peter gently picked him up, placed him on his chest, and laid down to rest with his beloved son. Okay, so wonderful. Woo, lots of apples in the comments. I think I'm getting hungry. I remembered I think I have 2 apples left in the refrigerator. I think I shall eat them after this lesson. Okay, so we just finished the story, which means, something's coming up. Let's do it. It's time for the quiz. I need my glasses. Are you guys ready? Shall we do the quiz? Yes, I think so. Okay, so let's see if you were listening, if you're paying attention. Here we go. Question number 1. Which is not a likely location for this picture? A bedroom, B, a hotel room, C, a storage room, or D, a living room? Okay, that is your question with the answers. Here's your music. What do you think? Okay. So, which is not a likely location for this picture? A storage room. Let's just quick take a look at a storage room to see what it would be like if they were hanging out in the storage room. All right, let's see. Storage room. Okay. All right, so this is the storage room. I mean, unless the house is packed with people and there's no other space, they're probably not going to be sleeping in the storage room, right? Okay, but a bedroom, a hotel room, sure. A living room, sure. If it's on a couch, it's on a sofa, sure, why not? Okay? Question number 2. How long did it take the baby to fall asleep? A, 20 days, B, 20 hours, C, 20 minutes, or D, 20 seconds? Okay, what do you think? How long did it take the baby to fall asleep? Okay, so let's see. How long did it take the baby to fall asleep? Well, of the times here, the one that I would choose, and based on the experience raising my daughter, I would say about 20 minutes, right? It's possible 20 seconds, but wow, maybe if the kid, when my daughter was a little older, maybe, he didn't nap that much anyway, but 20 seconds is possible if she had a really long day and she was just tired and she falls asleep. Mostly I would say 20 minutes. Because there seems to be a certain amount of time where we have to maybe sing to the baby, hold the baby, rock the baby back and forth, stuff like that. Sure. All right. Let's see. Gazal H said, even in a messy storage room, it can be really nice to have such a calm and convenient atmosphere with that baby. Sure, it's possible, right? It more depends on the people. Are we able to create an environment which is good for the baby? So yes, sure. And it might be quiet and nice and cool or warm or something. All right, let's see. Yohi2 says, because they sleep all day long, like 22 hours. For answer D. Leah Huda says, if he's too sleepy, it would be D. Sure, it's possible. Let's see. Kian Tenli says, after having breast milk. Sure. Gazal H says, breastfeeding. Sure. After they eat, they're just like, wonderful. I'm ready to take a nap. Right. Okay. But 20 days, well, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. 20 hours? Goodness, that would be crazy. So, no. All right. Question number 3. Why did the father fall asleep so quickly? A, he was exhausted from travel. B, he was energized from eating. C, he was knocked out by a boxer. D, he was rejuvenated by a pill. What do you think? Okay, so why did the father fall asleep so quickly? I'm seeing everyone saying A, and I think the answer is pretty straightforward on this one. I agree. A, he was exhausted from travel. But even though there are other answers that are wrong, it's a great opportunity to talk about vocabulary. And I love talking about the wrong answers as well, because sometimes teachers, they only tell you the right answer, and then they move forward, right? And then you're like, but what did the other answer mean? I know it was wrong, but what was the word? What did it mean? So I will not leave you hanging. Here we go. So A is the right answer. He was exhausted. He was really tired from travel. Okay? All right? He was energized from eating. All All right, so energize, in there you would have the makings for the word energy, right? So if someone is energized, whew, they're pumped up. Yeah, let's do it. And, that's the opposite of what we're looking for in this picture. Maybe he's energized from eating. Maybe he ate some sort of, protein bar? Is that what they're called? Let's take a look. Protein bar. Or maybe, there we go. Or maybe like an energy bar. So you eat these and, you have good energy and they make you have more energy. Like their name, energy bar. But it's the wrong answer. But C, he was knocked out by a boxer. Well, that would be some crazy travel. But no, knocked out means like boom, right? And you're like, you're unconscious. You're knocked out. You're blacked out. But no, that's not right. D, he was rejuvenated by a pill. And Leah Huda says rejuvenate, refreshing, or energized. Right. Rejuvenate by a pill. And pill is just like, one of those tablets of medicine, something like that. And rejuvenated, right. And it can mean to make you feel younger, but it can also mean to make you feel more energy, right? Ooh, was rejuvenated after I drank the magical shake or mixed drink, and I was like, ooh, ready to go, right? Rejuvenated. But those are all the wrong answers. So A was the right answer. He was exhausted from travel. Okay, question. Yo-E2 says pills don't rejuvenate anyone. Well, I would say there are certain pills that have strong effects on the human body. Not all of them are legal. Okay, here we go. Question number 4. While Peter was deployed overseas, he probably A, partied and drank every day. B, hung photos of Adam on the wall. C, wrote in his diary about the war. D, sent text messages to his pets. All right, what do you think? Let's hear some music while you think about your answer. Okay, so while Peter was deployed overseas, in other words, while Peter was in the military and the military sent him to another country, an international country far away from home, he probably B, hung photos of Adam on the wall. And I just see that Yoey2 says that's hard, but I think it's C. C could be a close answer. But since we've been focusing so much on his son Adam, I have to go with B, right? The second choice I would do C, but the number one choice I would do B. And so say when we do, I can talk, really. Okay, when we say hung photos, let's see if we can find a picture of someone hanging photos. So hung is past tense, current, present tense. In the present progressive, we could say hanging photos. All right, so we have photos hanging on the wall, something like that. I imagine he missed his kid, right? And since we're in the 21st century, it's easy to receive pictures, but you can't be there with the child. So he probably printed some pictures out and put them on the wall or kept them on his phone, stuff like that. Okay, wrote in his diary about the war. A diary is just a personal book where you keep your notes and your thoughts and maybe things about your life, stuff like that. A, partied and drink every day. Well, it's possible, but I would hope not. Especially since he's a young father and he needs to pour a lot of his energy and focus into providing the best environment possible for his son, right? Partying and drinking, maybe when you were younger, but when you're a young parent, kick out the partying and drinking. All right, let's see. Leah Huda says memory book. Sure. Leah Huda says pet is animals raised in houses. Sure. So sent text messages to his pets. That would be strange because that means that you would think that the pets can actually receive them. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people are crazy about their pets, so I suppose anything's possible. All right. See, Yoey2 says, everyone's saying B. I didn't understand why there isn't an after that. I thought it was while. All right. While he was in the war. Okay. So while he was deployed overseas, so during the time that he was abroad or in a different country, he probably hung photos. Okay. So the best answer here from the information we've received about how much he loves his son, B is the best answer. Okay. Question number 5. The future relationship between the father and son will likely be A. Stressful and quiet, B. Strained and non-existent, C. Angry and distant, or D. Close and supportive. What do you think? Here's some music while you think. Okay, before I get to the question, I just want to say, give me a thumbs up if you like this music. I find this music is very relaxing. It helps me to focus and have a clear mindset and be able to really get stuff done. So if you like the music, give a thumbs up. Okay, so here we go. The future relationship between the father and the son will likely be D, close and supportive. All right, and we put likely, right? So we say likely because it's like probably, most likely to happen that way. Do we know for sure? No, because life is ups and downs and roller coasters and stuff. But I would say from the information that we have, that their relationship in the future will likely be close and supportive. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean, in real life, if you have a close and supportive relationship? Ooh, I think that's a great opportunity. You guys tell me. What do you think? What do people do if they have a close and supportive relationship? I'm waiting for the comments. What does it mean? I'm sure you guys understand the words close and supportive, but in actions, in real life, how do people treat each other if they have close and supportive relationships? What do you think? I can think of what they don't do. They don't yell and scream at each other, or maybe they do, but then they make up and stuff. All right. See, Summit Teacher says they always back up each other. Sure, they help each other, support each other. Right? Let's see, Leah Huda says, explain strained, please. Yes, I will explain all of the words in the wrong answers. So let's see. So D is the correct answer. And Mi Tarea de Inglés says they communicate, they share time together, they care about each other. Right. A great example of people that have close and supportive relationships. Notice it doesn't say perfect, right? Because perfect doesn't exist. However, we can always be improving and making our relationships better. Okay, so let's take a look at the wrong answers. A, stressful and quiet. This makes me think of no communication. Zip. So you might be in the same room, but it's stressful, it's maybe depressing, it's frustrating, it's easy to make you upset, it's upsetting, and you're like, and you don't really want to be there, right? Okay, strained and non-existent. Strained is similar to stressful, right? So think, let's see, if I have my pen and I put strain on it to like bend it, You're putting pressure on it, right? You're straining it. You can also say you strained a muscle, where you twisted or you pulled your muscle too far. That causes you pain and it hurts your body. So you can also have it for a relationship. Strained relationship, which means, I don't really like you, but I kind of have to hang out with you, or, I don't respect you at all, or whatever. Strained, right? It's kind of like stressful. Probably is stressful. Non-existent just means there's none. There's no relationship, right? Angry and distant. Well, angry just, like mad, upset. Distant just means like far. Like it's difficult to communicate. There's no close communication. You're far away from each other. Could be physically, but if you put it up with angry, you could be in the same room and be distant from each other because you choose not to communicate, right? All right, let's take a look at the comments. Ghazal H says cordial relationship, right? Cordial is a very nice word for mutually respectful, nice, good, wonderful, yes. Friendly, maybe. Yo E2 says they accept, respect each other no matter what happens, they will love each other. All right. Mi Tarea de Inglés says I'm always confused with quiet and quite. Okay, let's see. Here's quiet. So it's Q-U-I-E-T, and that just means, right, low noise or no noise, very quiet. And quite, if we switch the T and the E around, quite means very. So you could say, I'm quite happy. He's quite crazy. The apples are quite delicious. So let's see. I was quiet, or the children were quiet, but quite happy, right? So the children were quiet, but quite happy. Let's see. Here, I can type it here. So we have quiet versus quite, right? I'll make a sentence with both. The quiet children were quite happy, right? So in other words, the children that weren't making any noise were very happy, right? So that's quiet versus quite. Quiet has 2 syllables. Quiet. Quite has 1 syllable. All right. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. All right. Okay. Kian Lee says they can talk to each other in every topic. Sure. There might be you might feel uncomfortable, but you feel comfortable enough with the person to be able to explore something, to talk about something, right? Because you expect them to show you respect, right? Okay. All right. Let's see. Mi Tarea de Inglés says, but quite is a British word? I think it's both. I think you would just call it an English word. American and British and Australians, I'm sure they use it as well. Pretty much everyone. Okay. All right. Let's see. Ghazal H says, a question. Is it true that there is a new rule about irregular verbs? I've heard that even irregular verbs can get ed at the end. Well, that sounds like a lot of grammar. And to tell you the truth, I try to stay away from grammar in my lessons because my focus is using the language, communication, speaking, and doing it right now. And I'm more about active grammar than explaining the rules and talking about the specifics of the past tense, present tense, future tense, and all that stuff. But it's possible, because to kind of give you an answer, English is full of exceptions, right? So when you first start learning English, or when I first started learning Spanish isn't quite as bad as English this way, but you learn a rule and you assume that it's like that in 100% of the situations. But then the teacher says, but it's not like that here. There's an exception, there's this. So I don't know about a new rule about irregular verbs, but I don't know. I know there are a lot of exceptions in English, for sure. Okay. Let's see. Layla Almeida says quite equals completely. Am I correct? It might not be completely. Completely means like 100%, all of it. Quite means very, right? We're very happy. It might not mean we're 100% happy, but we could be like, 80%, 90% happy, right? Something like that. Okay. All right. So we just finished the quiz. Wonderful. Great. Okay. So let's take a review. What did we do in this lesson? Well, this was a Let's Describe lesson. We did the summary. We described the setting, described the action, described this, or I told you a story. And then we took a quiz, right? And of course, we did pronunciation through the whole lesson. Great. All right. Okay, so that is the lesson for today. Right. Okay, so remember, improve your English, become more valuable. So what does that mean in practice, in real life? Well, language is a skill, just like anything else. And if you improve it, you become more valuable. So what does that mean? It means you're able to do more things. And if you are able to do more things, you can do more things for other people as well. So when you become more valuable, when you become better, you're able to help people that you know in your life, in your relationship. So yeah, I think it's wonderful to become more valuable because you help yourself and you help people around you. It's like a win-win situation. Okay. All right. If you like our stuff, make sure to subscribe. Let's see the animation. And if you're already subscribed, feel free to click the bell. The notification icon, and YouTube will let you know when we have new stuff. All right, so that is it for me today. Improve your English, become more valuable. I'm going to type a thank you in the comments and play the music a little bit louder because it's great. All right.